right now on Trans Am.
Bring it on in, dude.
When a 1970 muscle car monster rumbles into the depot,
Yeah, man, we finally brought it in.
Whoa.
Scott Warmack takes a $20,000 gamble on an LSX engine swap.
He has nothing that'll run like this car's gonna run. Nothing.
But body damage
This is all mud, man.
and rare parts
This quarter panel is amazing.
put Scott and the depot out on a limb.
That's another 2 weeks added on, which we didn't bargain for. We can't risk anything.
And at Worldwide, as the shop tries to finish a new Bandit for a couple from Canada,
He's gonna want to change to the updated headlights.
errors in the build
I'm gonna have to repaint this whole center section.
push the company's budget
Need to see if I can get authorization for overtime.
and Todd Warmack's patience.
Out of me.
We gotta do something about it.
There was a time when American muscle ruled the road. They were loud, proud, and badass. But that time, well, it ended, and it was a gut punch. But that's not the end of the story. Scott Warmack and Todd Warmack are determined to bring them back. They're two brothers with two shops, restoring old cars
He's gonna be surprised.
and building new ones
That's what 1,000 horsepower sounds like.
that chase one dream. Drive the American muscle car out of the past and back into the fast lane. This is Trans Am.
Rob,
Yeah,
how are we coming on Jim's car?
we gotta pull the carb off and have Casey rebuild it. It's leaking everywhere. It's loading up. It's driving me nuts.
So when can you have it done?
Tomorrow we'll have it done.
Can you get it done tonight, possibly?
It'll be tight.
Try to do it.
Very tight.
Scott Warmack asking for the impossible. That's just another Monday morning here at Trans Am Depot, where he's been restoring classic American muscle cars of all shapes and sizes for more than 30 years.
I remember the first time I saw a restored car, I was 18 years old. It was like a 67 Camaro in the showroom floor. And I just could not believe this car looked brand new, you know, and it was just amazing. And I'm like, I want one of those. I want to do that. So now I love being around muscle cars every day. When they're running right, it's just, you can't beat it. Okay, hold on. Got one coming in now.
Okay, what do we got?
You'll love it. Right on time. Wow. Bring it on in, dude.
Today, he's got a 1970 Oldsmobile Vista cruiser wagon driving into the shop with the owner, Barrett Tolley.
When I opened up the door, it was just what I thought Barrett would bring. You know, it was a very conservative color, the bamboo cream. He loves original cars. That's good. Hey, dude, what's up?
How's it going, man?
Going good. Hey, buddy, how are you? Wow.
Yeah, man, we finally brought it in. Ready to get it restored. 26,000 original miles.
How does it ride?
Great, man.
I'm Barrett Tolley. I invest in collecting muscle cars. Since I was his age, I had an interest in them. I love the carbureted engines and the different sound that's different from today.
How many owners?
I bought it from the original family.
Dude, this is really nice. Original carpet still.
Yeah.
About now, you might be asking, what's a big old wagon doing in a muscle car shop? Well, back in 1949, when Oldsmobile kicked off the muscle car craze with its Rocket 88, all the others that followed, like the Hudson Hornet, Dodge D500, and the Plymouth Fury, were big boats with powerful motors that could carry the family and get you a speeding ticket. But then in 1964, Ford sprang the Mustang, and small-size muscle cars, nicknamed pony cars, with long hoods and short rear decks like the Camaro, Firebird, Javelin, and Challenger, became all the rage. Still, hardcore fans argue to this day that true muscle cars are full-size. And that includes Barrett's 1970 Vista Cruiser, all 218.2 inches of it, powered by the Rocket V8 455.
It's a unique muscle car, very different and very rare. So I think he's on to something. So what are we doing?
Everything. I want to do a full frame off, get all the mechanicals right. I want to be able to take it across the country, but I want to keep it original.
You want us to do any drivability stuff, improvement over?
Yeah, go through the suspension, give me some recommendations, but I don't want anything done that would hurt the originality of the car. Everything's got to be undoable.
Barrett's idea for the Vista Cruiser is to turn back the clock, restoring it inside and out to its original factory condition. He's got $100 grand to spend and wants it done in a quick 15 weeks. But Scott, he's not completely on board with the plan.
There's room for improvement in the drivetrain, like bigger brakes, different engine. He goes, as long as it's reversible. Anything's reversible. I mean, so, yeah. So that's pretty much gives me, you know, the right to do what I want to do, so. It'll be an amazing car.
Yeah. You guys can do it. That's why I brought it here.
Well, I'm excited, dude.
All
You
right.
got a ride?
Thanks, man. Yes.
Okay. Y'all have a good one.
All right, you too.
That is a cool ass car.
It's going to be cool.
Now, there's so much you can do with a car like this. I'm gonna do some things that'll surprise him. He's gonna be surprised.
Brendan, Tom, you guys ready for me?
Yeah.
Across town over at Trans Am Worldwide, Scott's brother Todd is having a different kind of Monday,
Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday.
thanks to the depot.
Quickly, for those of you guys that don't know, Todd and Scott had a race last weekend between their 454 car and our 454 car, and we beat them like a red-headed stepchild with freckles. So thank you, Todd, for doing that.
In case you missed this moment of sibling rivalry, it was a good old-fashioned drag race.
We're gonna find out who the man is.
The pressure's on him.
And Todd smoked his little brother's Bandit.
Until next time.
All right, please focus on making this shop money, which makes you money.
All right, let's bring it in. We beat Depot on 2. 1, 2. We beat Depot!
It's good to hear him fired up, because for these guys, the battle is far from over. Trans Am Worldwide has the exclusive rights to the legendary Trans Am brand, and right now, Todd and his crew are cranking on 77 limited edition Bandits.
Bandit series is a modern-day tribute and a homage to the car used in the movie.
And next up for delivery is one for the Waschucks, a couple from the Great White North.
I'm Kevin Waschuk. Back when I was in high school, I just turned 17. I received this brand new 1977 Trans Am. So it takes me back to my youth and really jazzed about receiving this car and counting the days.
You getting ready to put the sealer on?
Yeah, first.
All right.
Today, head painter Keith and his body technician Justin are starting on what'll be the coolest part of the paint job on the Waschucks car.
Hey, you want this more level?
You guessed it, the Screamin' Chicken. Hard to believe the Trans Am's badass look has its roots in the environmental movement, but it does. Heavy pollution in the 1960s and 70s, much of it from leaded gas pumped out of tailpipes, pushed the U.S. government to start regulating emissions.
The quality of our life on this good land is a cause to unite all Americans.
But what was great for Mother Earth was a big blow to automakers who had to reduce the horsepower in their engines. So to compensate for the loss of muscle in their muscle cars, they upped their game on appearance packages. And in 1973, Pontiac's Screaming Chicken debuted on their Super Duty line. At 45.5 inches wide and 44.5 inches long, it was one of the largest graphics offered in the industry.
Just look for blowouts, because if there's going to be anything, you'll see it now before you crank it up.
So Keith will be overseeing the Waschucks Chicken,
Looks good, man. I think you're good to go.
as well as a special request.
This particular car would definitely wanted to have the Bandit striping, the full package.
Translation: Kevin wants custom pinstripes that exactly match the ones on Bert's Bandit. On one hand, it's par for the course at Worldwide.
We're building limited edition cars, very high-end cars, and so for each customer, the experience is different. They want something special. They want something unique. They want something that nobody else has.
On the other, it makes life a whole lot more complicated around here.
The problem is that every one of these Bandits is a little unique, and some people will pick different options on the paint job. They'll have painted stripes on one car and not painted stripes on the next car.
Bottom line, the couple will be flying all the way down from Canada in 2 weeks.
So you've got all that under control? Okay.
And it better be exactly right.
All right, so as soon as you know a date, let me know, so.
Just taking this car for a drive to just check it out. And I kind of wanted to see what this 455 would do as well.
It's not often that Scott gets a running, driving car in the shop. So this time, he's taking full advantage.
First time I've ever driven a Vista Cruiser. Never even ridden in one. You feel how smooth it is? It's a floater. It's like riding in your living room on your Lazy Boy, you know? It's like you don't feel any bumps. It's really cool, but it definitely needs more power. It's supposed to be a muscle car station wagon, so it's got a haul ass.
Scott was percolating on the plan for the car, but now that he's driven it, he knows exactly what to do.
My head's kind of spinning, and I'm thinking of some ideas on what we could do.
The way Scott sees it, this car deserves more than to simply be cleaned up and restored. It needs muscle. So that's what he's going to give it, no matter what it takes and whether or not Barrett agrees.
Barrett's really big on originality, but after driving the car, we got to do something. I'm not sure how he'll receive that, but...
Next on Trans Am.
Start stripping this thing down.
It's hasta la vista for the Cruiser. And hello to Scott's $20,000 gamble. And later, Worldwide stumbles on their delivery.
I'm gonna have to repaint this whole center section.
And Scott goes out on a limb to track down a rare part.
This is amazing. Look at the door defender on the driver's side.
Hold on a second.
You notice this cracking in the door jamb?
Let me get the lights. You're getting way ahead of me.
It's teardown day at the depot on Barrett's 1970 Oldsmobile Vista Cruiser. But before they rip it apart, Scott and his lead mechanic Rob take a moment to record exactly what it looks like as is.
Lots of crap paint right here.
You know, we may be adjusting the door back on a month from now or 2 months from now, and you can't get it to fit. So we're gonna go back and say, well, how did it fit when it came in? So at least you know, if you don't have it fitting as good as it did when it came in, that's on you.
Hood's low here in the front. All the way down, it's low.
And look down here, it's rubbing on the rocker.
Yeah.
For a car with only 26,000 miles under its belt, this Vista Cruiser is showing some oddly warped body lines.
All the panels come in tighter at the bottom, and they're real wide at the top. They almost touch here.
But back in the 70s, factories didn't have the precision in their fabrication the way they do now with high-tech robots. And it wasn't unusual for cars to reach consumers with some inconsistencies. And maybe some cigar ashes.
All right, so what we can do, we can start stripping this thing out and pull the interior out. Maybe put Brian and Tim on taking the fenders and the hood off, and then we'll just shove it in the hole and pull the frame out from under it.
Okay. All right, guys, we got work to do.
Everything's coming off of this thing, right?
Yes, sir. How long is it going to take you to get that hood open?
Oh, you locked it, didn't you?
Yeah, I locked it. Here we go.
I'm thinking we're gonna get this original upholstery, this original vinyl, and redo this because we got some rips here. The rips on top, so basically this whole thing's gonna be redone.
Go towards you.
I'm just supporting from the bottom. I don't have a handle on this.
More than 19 feet long and almost 4,300 pounds of steel and glass, the Vista Cruiser may be the depot's biggest project ever.
I've never seen so many moldings and clips. You guys coming good with that?
Yeah, we got it.
Awesome.
Which is why Scott and his crew need to take extra precautions when getting the behemoth up onto the lift to separate the body from the chassis.
Brian, grab the very large wood that we have. All right, slide that log through there.
Sure, Paul Bunyan.
Be careful with the frame. Keep
Rob,
going.
you got, yeah.
The log can support the long rear end,
Cool.
while the guys crawl under and detach the wires, brake, and fuel lines.
You got the brake lines loose already?
We're clear of that obstacle. I think we're good now.
Step back. Here it goes. Clear. Let me know when I'm clear of the motor. I hear the lift creaking. And we are high enough for that.
All right, so what are we doing with this now?
Roll the frame right out. Let's support the body. Perfect.
Yes, sir.
Close.
I'll pull this thing out there and get a money shot on it real quick. So we're gonna wet sand it outside anyways.
Over at Worldwide, the Wasatch Screaming Chicken is all done up and ready for a stroll in the sun.
Thank you.
The hood will get some more love out here.
Move this thing out of here and start getting it through the wet sanding and buffing process.
Then it'll be ready for mounting. Except the pinstripes on the Wasatch's car are now screaming for Keith's attention.
The problem is the older stripes were thicker at the top, and the newer stripe, the way we do it, is thinner at the bottom.
As beautiful as these pinstripes are, they're just the wrong ones for the Wasatch's.
I'm gonna have to repaint this whole center section.
To fix the mismatched pinstripes, Keith's got to paint over the top stripe of the bumper that's too thin and replace it with a new thicker one without destroying the $25,000 paint job already in place.
Had to cover up the incorrect gold stripe with black, and now I'm spacing out where the new stripe's gonna be. You wanna put light thin coats on and slowly build up the depth of the color. And I'm also trying to kind of sneak up on it, put it on multiple thin coats, because if I really pour a lot of paint on, it'll flow to the bottom edge and you'll get a real heavy lip along the bottom.
Everybody has a Trans Am story, and they have that memory that's special to them. So making sure that cars are built to their specifications is critical.
Captain Chaos is coming with the forklift here.
Hey, Rob, safety first, brother.
It's hard not to get giddy about a brand new engine, especially when it's the one Scott ordered for the Vista Cruiser.
So we got transmission and engine. We're the small part.
The car's owner, Barrett, just wants the original 455 motor refurbished.
Watch your fingers, head, shoulders, knees,
You're good.
and toes.
You're good.
But that engine was rated at 320 horsepower and a top speed of under 120 miles per hour. And Scott, well, he's looking for something with a little more oomph.
It's supposed to be a muscle car station wagon, and with what he's got now, I know that if we were to leave it like it is, he wouldn't be happy with it.
Do we get to open?
Yeah, Christmas.
Scott's pick for the Vista
Oh, that's so pretty.
is the LSX 454.
Oh, beautiful.
This engine can produce up to 776 horsepower, more than double the original.
When you're driving a muscle car, if I had to describe it in the least amount of words, one word would be freedom. You got the power, you know, and that's the biggest thing, is to feel that pull, which is like, there's just nothing like that feeling. You cannot get enough of that. So really, when a customer comes to me, what they're looking for is that feeling.
And Scott's willing to bet that Barrett wants that feeling too. He just doesn't know it yet.
Where are we putting this thing for now?
We're gonna drool over it for a few minutes.
Between the motor itself, plus the performance package needed to adapt it to a vintage car, Scott's spending a good 20 grand out of his $100,000 budget. That's a pretty big gamble.
So we're gonna keep all the originality in the car. The only huge visual impact would be the engine. But if it's Oldsmobile Blue, if it has a 4-barrel intake, or it's got valve covers on it that cover the coil packs, and that's gonna make a big difference when you look at the engine.
Tim,
Yep.
We're gonna need to order some Oldsmobile blue paint.
Okay.
Barrett loves cars. This is a whole new dimension for him. He has nothing that'll run like this car is gonna run. Nothing.
Next,
That's deep, man.
Scott discovers the Cruiser's more mud than metal.
It looks like wood filler.
I don't even know why they did it.
And later,
We're going to be definitely pushing into the weekend.
delays in production put deliveries at risk.
The hardest thing to do in this business is to call a customer and tell them their car's not going to be done on time.
It's been a busy couple of weeks at the depot as the guys tackle the bodywork on Barrett's massive 1970 Vista Cruiser.
Cleaning it up.
This is looking really good.
Unfortunately, it hasn't been all peaches and cream.
The front door was really messed up.
So Bobby says he can fix it.
So you can see there's already a bit of a low spot right here.
Today, Bobby's going to start smoothing this door with a precise combo of heat and cold.
This can be used as a heat shrinking tool. As you push that down, it makes contact with the metal, comes up to a high heat. The longer you hold it, the hotter it gets. Pull off and then apply cool air, cools it down quick, causes the metal to draw up. It just takes a little bit of time, but it's going to be beautiful when we're done.
The good news is the door is really the least of Scott's problems. And that's also the bad news.
This is all mud, man.
Bodywork detailer Brian's just discovered this rear quarter panel is more filler than metal.
That's deep, man.
Oh, yeah, it is.
So Scott, man. And it looks like it was basically painted in a garage. The bodywork was done really poorly. Just different weird putties. It looks like wood filler almost.
I don't even know what to say.
It looks like they were applying stucco.
I don't even know why they did it. We thought this is a great car. It's solid. It's a one family-owned car. No one ever mentioned any body work. But now the weird gaps and the mangled door and the mud all make sense. It obviously got sideswiped.
Scott's already sunk a chunk of their budget on the new motor, so adding 2 weeks of labor to fix this quarter panel, not an option.
Looks like SpongeBob crammed in a...
But for a car this rare, finding a replacement could take longer than the 11 weeks left on their schedule.
That's the problem with this car. It's not like you can buy everything new.
All right. I'm gonna have to figure it out.
Todd, do you have just a moment?
Yeah.
The short version is fixing the custom pinstripes on the wash truck van had a huge ripple effect. And now we're definitely going to be pushing into the weekend on that car as well as some others. I need to see if I can get authorization for extra overtime. It will also mean that we've got to somehow find a way to get mechanical QC complete as well as our buffer and jeweler to play nice with the guys that are putting the parts on the car.
Right. Well, absolutely.
The wash trucks are flying down from Canada next week expecting to pick up their car.
All right, thank you. I'll let the guys know.
Thank you.
So even though overtime means hurting the bottom line, for Todd, it beats the alternative.
The hardest thing to do in this business, in this company, by far, is to call a customer and tell them their car's not going to be done on time. We're not letting it happen on this car.
Today we're going to a place called Old Gold, which is a salvage yard to look for a nice lower quarter patch panel for the Vista Cruiser.
It's taken Scott 2 weeks to find this place, and it's a good 4-hour drive away. But right now, it's the only lead he's got.
He said that they actually had 4 Vista Cruisers out there, so that's exciting. So I'm taking a chance, hoping that one of these Vista Cruisers this guy has will have a good lower quarter. Yeah, I can see the cars through the trees over there. That's a cool Ford truck right there. It's a lot of cars here. It's unbelievable. Old Impala. Old 69 Camaro there. I love going to junkyards. It's like going back in time. It is so cool. I've been doing it since I was a kid, and I used to just go and break my lunch, and we'd spend all day, and it's just like treasure hunting.
So many cars, so little time. So to help him stay focused on the Vista here, Scott's arranged a nickel tour with Tim, whose father built this place back in the 80s.
It's a family-run business. Worked here all my life.
But y'all kill a lot of snakes down here.
Yeah, I've killed my share. This part of Florida is not palm trees and beaches. It's mosquitoes and gnats. Station wagon Vista Cruiser, Oldsmobile. It's got 4 doors on it.
Yeah, this is it. This quarter panel is amazing. This piece, but then, you know, it gives us more options here. A lot better than what we got. Quarter panel looks good. The part we need will work out good.
Even better, Scott spots another treasure just a few feet away.
The door.
Yeah, excellent. It's amazing how this can be right next to that. And that one's got rust and this one don't. Yeah. The one door they had, it's much better than the one Bobby's trying to fix. It's like perfect.
Roof racks.
Yeah, it looks like it's all stainless except for the corner pieces. There's 3 roof racks. I saw some flaws on 2 of them, so I'm gonna make one really good one out of the 3. Very cool.
$7.95.
You got a 10?
$10 ain't gonna kill us.
Thanks a lot.
I'll load it for you because it's sharp.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you.
buddy.
Now that we got these parts, I can't wait to get them back to the body shop. I'll have the blaster come, we'll blast it, and then we'll know what we got at least. So it's time to go back to Tallahassee.
Next on Trans Am.
We're gonna blast the car.
The depot crew hopes there's no more damage to the Vista body.
Sandblasting can be scary. Not sure what you're gonna find underneath all the paint.
And Rob takes a stab at giving the LSX a new look.
This is a one-time shot. It's not like you can sand a motor like that.
Here's Scott. Let's see what gifts he's come bearing. Hey, Scott.
Hey, how are you?
Morning.
Just in time to help unload.
You know it. That's what I'm here for.
Hey, can we get some of you guys to help us push? Come on.
As the guys all know by now, Barrett's old Vista Cruiser, it's been through the ringer. So with only a little over 8 weeks left for the build, Scott's making sure there's no more surprises.
So we're gonna blast the car.
All right, chalk blocks.
I went to the junkyard yesterday. It scored another door and a quarter panel, and it looks pretty solid, but they got to be really good condition. So we'll have to find out.
What's up, fellas? Obviously, sunroof, all these quarter glass tracks need to be shot. Just want to get really clean metal without deformation.
Sandblasting is exactly what it sounds like. Removing paint and rust by shooting particles like glass or steel at speeds of up to 1,000 miles per hour, faster than the speed of sound.
Sandblasting can be scary because you're not sure what you're going to find underneath all the paint. We hope to have minimal rust damage. You guys all done?
Yes, sir.
All squared up? Man, look how sweet this is. It's less damage than we expected, so that's amazing. That's a huge help. Thank you guys so much, man. Thank you. Excited. Now we can keep moving.
Scott's budget of $100 grand is looking slim between his engine upgrade and unexpected labor costs.
Watch your side there, you got logs.
So now, to make up for lost time, it's all hands on deck.
I'm applying rust inhibitor gel. And the idea is to apply it, peel it off like a Band-Aid, and it should leave clean metal.
And over in this corner.
So what we're doing right here is we're getting ready to make one of our splicing cuts on this quarter panel. And what we're going to do is we're going to make our cuts on our new piece and our old piece, and then we're going to come back and put like a cuff in it. That way we weld it. It'd be nice and seamless, have a real nice strong bind to it.
First step for Bobby is to cut low on the body of the car
There we go.
and high on the quarter panel being patched in, so there's an overlap he can work with for the final fit.
You always do about 3 or 4 fitments before you actually start doing any final cuts. So now I'm done with that. So now we're gonna check out the fitment. And that's good. Lays in there nice, follows the factory line that it's supposed to. Just like a glove. That looks good.
Thanks to Scott and his treasure hunt, the Vista's rear panel is looking a hell of a lot happier.
So what I'm doing here is I'm tacking, and what it is hit this, the heat comes out, and then I come over here and hit this without this heat affecting this and warping the panel. So what we're trying to do is trying to keep the panel straight while welding it together. I mean, it's just about having metal, not Bondo. That's what I do.
What's up, dude?
Hey, what's going on?
Good. How you doing? I'm here to secure the paint booth for the Olds Vista Cruiser.
That look on Keith's face pretty much sums up what it's like to try and squeeze in another paint job around here, especially when they're playing catch-up after the pinstripe snafu on the Waschuck Bandit. But the truth is, Scott used to own the paint booth.
My brother took the paint booth when he opened up the new building, so I've got to come here now. So what I'm going to do is just work myself into their schedule and make sure that our jobs get done on time.
Lucky for him, there seems to be a 2-day window that's still open next weekend, so he's taking it.
Geez, that's a 4-door?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
If there's any delays that weekend and the job's not done come Monday, it could be weeks before he can get in again, and he can forget about meeting Barrett's deadline.
Okay. I know he has deadlines, but we've got deadlines as well, so we'll make it happen.
These wheels are squeaking too much.
While Bobby keeps chipping away at the bodywork on the Vista Cruiser, Rob starts working on Scott's little surprise for Barrett, transforming this modern LSX to look like it's an original from 1970.
Lots of times when you see an LS conversion, you've got electric fans and no shroud, and you've got, aftermarket brake booster components, and we're not going to do any of that. We're going to make it look like it's almost factory. So when people look at it, they're not going to really, they have to look twice.
The old Oldsmobile Blue.
In your average boring old passenger car, you really only look under the hood when there's a problem. But when it comes to muscle cars, well, the motor is the muscle, and anyone who's got one is showing it off. Back in 1968, Oldsmobile's signature color for their new 455 V8 was red, except for in the Tornado where they used metallic blue. And when that color took off, it became their new signature for all 455s, including the one in Barrett's Vista. So to sell this LSX to Barrett, Rob's got to nail the shade of blue while using a modern paint mix.
This has ceramic in the paint that will withstand up to 650 degrees. This motor will never change color like the original paint did on the original motors.
But color precision and paint that doesn't fade may all be useless if they can't get Barrett to fall in love with this new motor. Next, the Waschuck Bandit is finally ready to roll. Then, Scott pushes the crew.
Let's do the paint in one day.
To pull off the impossible.
That's crazy.
This is a perfect scenario,
Yeah,
dude.
I mean,
we might be
Hey guys, look at this.
Scott Warmack learned a long time ago how to keep Rob's nose to the grindstone.
This is nice.
Just give him a really big toy to play with.
I've never seen a cabinet this big. I've seen blasting rooms, but never a cabinet.
And with all the smaller Vista parts that still need to be sanded,
All right, we're gonna take you down as far as air pressure.
a new blasting cabinet seemed just the ticket.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Wow. This is leaving the factory coating on. It's not affecting the metal at all. It's unbelievable.
Come on, Rob.
Grab a T-top and put it in the bag.
It's been a long week at Worldwide, racing to finish the Waschucks Bandit in time for their arrival.
He's been waiting with a lot of anticipation, a lot of built-up excitement. He had some very specific things that he wanted added to his car, and hopefully he's going to be happy with the outcome. All right, let's go in and take a look.
All right.
How'd you sleep last night, Kevin?
I tossed a little bit.
He tossed a lot.
It's exciting.
The Waschucks?
Now we're taking home the baby, so.
Wow.
Oh, it's beautiful. Absolutely stellar.
My first car was a 1977 Pontiac Trans Am. And to have something with new technology and keeping it kind of retro, the little detailings that take it right back to that time frame, fantastic. It's a great feeling. Wow. It's great.
Most every customer that we sell to is a baby boomer. They've either had a muscle car like this back in the day, or they couldn't afford one, and now they have the means to purchase one now, and they want to relive the youth. Go ahead.
Wow. This is us saying goodbye.
This is it.
Baby boomers like the Waschucks, born between the mid-40s and early 60s, were coming of age in the days of Woodstock and Vietnam, rock and roll and Watergate, smack in the golden age of the American muscle car. Their teenage years were filled with loud motors and sexy lines. Riding or yearning to ride in a muscle car was no less than a rite of passage. For Todd, it was no different.
It's part of what kept me in this whole muscle car arena, was that I didn't want to let go of the thrill that I experienced growing up. Look, you guys are going to have to send me pictures.
We will.
Right?
I will.
Any day that a customer goes home happy is a good day around here.
Beautiful work.
But for the crew, it's not exactly time for a beer.
We've got a bunch of Bandits left that we have to build. How's it going? So as far as back here in the paint shop, we're already booked up for the next 8 months. And we're going to be cranking up production even faster. All right, looking good.
Just got the motor painted?
Good, good. How'd that color turn out?
Scott's ready to put his eagle eye on the new Vista motor, where Rob's paint job could make or break the build.
Please don't touch it. It's still soft.
Only see one factory run.
Yeah?
I can already tell you it's going to be a knockout. It's going to look like an original engine, as much as it can.
Thank you.
With Scott signing off, now they have a beautiful motor ready to be put on the chassis as soon as it's built.
Hey, Tim, I got more parts from Inline Tube.
Oh, all right.
In fact, the depot's filling up with new and refurbished parts faster than you can say Vista Cruiser.
This is a mammoth. Oh, yeah. So that's brake booster there. Then I had him replate. Yeah, these are beautiful.
But as for the body itself, well, it's got a long way to go.
Quarter panel, you know, that's another probably 2 weeks added on to our timeline, which we didn't bargain for.
So Bobby's got to finish the metal work. We got to get into blocking, and then we got to get the car over to Worldwide to have it painted this weekend
so we can start assembly.
What's up, dude?
Hey, man.
I need to know, we good to go this Friday for paint?
I'm trying to nail down our Worldwide opening for the booth.
Okay.
But we've got Bobby geared up for 3 days worth of metal work from this point on.
On this week?
Oh my gosh.
That doesn't work. You know, the guys are wanting like 3 days. I'm looking at this saying, I mean, need to be finished.
If they miss the open window for painting the Vista at Worldwide, they could be stuck for days or even weeks with no way to start assembling the massive car. That's a risk Scott's not willing to take.
So we have to do everything at once.
But the quality has to be there. We want to get every little thing perfect.
For Scott, there's only one solution here.
Okay, so let's do the paint in one day. With 2 booths, why can't we shoot it all in one day?
Because that's crazy.
a lot of parts.
It's going to take 2 days, 2 working days to get that thing taped up in the booth, wiped down, and
Every
shot.
time we do something, it takes 3 times longer.
Well, no, yeah, not on this
I
one.
mean,
I'm
it is
trying to
what it
understand.
takes.
I mean, if we started at 6 in the morning, and you're telling me by 9 at night we couldn't have
I mean, I'll just...
everything sprayed in a bake booth. I'm just
I'll
asking.
put bets on it. I'm
in
telling
fact,
you, it
there's
ain't
two.
gonna happen in one day.
There's 2 booths there.
I understand.
Well, you tell me. You're
The parts are going to go in one booth, and the shell of the car's going to go in the other booth. Yeah, we can do it in a day.
Aaron, he can do it in a day
we
with
could
2 booths,
We
dude.
could be snatching
Dude,
the car
don't
out.
I'd like to prep it for a half a day, get it in the paint booth and paint half the car, and come back Saturday morning and finish it, and bring it over here Sunday.
Okay, I'm just telling you, don't happen in 3 minutes.
I understand.
It takes
No,
half
dude,
a day
trust me.
to get the damn truck up
get
front.
Get it loaded, right.
This is a perfect scenario,
Yeah,
dude.
I mean,
we might be and we may not be able to get in there until Sunday night.
I understand little things can go wrong, so they need some runway on their end, so we're gonna give them that runway. But after that, it's like, we gotta put the car together. There's no more screwing around.
In the end, they agree to get the car to Worldwide even for a day, because for Scott, failing Barrett is not an option.
All right, so whatever I need to do to make that happen, that's gonna be the gospel from here on out, and that date can't slide. You hear me?
Next on Trans Am,
Getting ready to put the motor and transmission in?
Scott pushes ahead on his risky resto-mod plan for the Vista.
He doesn't know any of this, does he? What's he gonna say?
All right.
But when the owner discovers the changes,
He doesn't want it, he's done.
Scott might be stuck with a $100,000 loss.
I'm dying. I've got to figure something out.
This is it, huh?
And at Worldwide, it's all or nothing as Worldwide designs a new 1,000-horsepower Trans Am.
I like that a lot. That looks much different than the last rendering I saw.
But when the engine builder fails to deliver the motor,
It's going to be a real storm.
the new supercar might stop,
We're 2 weeks out before the cars leave for SEMA. We have to find a way to make it work.
dead on the lift.
We either win or we perish, and that's where we are now.